Here it goes.
Enter visualization sequence.
Let's try it in the other order.
Subject code accepted. 6, 4, 5, 2, 3, 1. Recognized. Beginning message.
Grand experiment of the ancients to use the technology of elemental manipulation to create a completely viable ecological and social microcosm. This microcosm was then to be transported to a distant biosphere, Terra, to supplant its indigenous ecosystem. The need was acknowledged for a central controlling unit capable of compensating for expected anomalies. Die!
My death will not save you from our wrath.
Are you going to plug me into Link, sir? I hope you know what you're doing.
I have no idea what we're doing. But,
Something is happening, I think. Yes, I'm gaining control. I found my destiny, Mr. Foster.
goes in the middle. Perhaps we didn't even need to know that. The yellow crystal is over on the left side, and the blue one is on the right side. Switch to Annie, have her pull the lever to close the trapdoor, have her push the switch on this side, switch to Zack, have him push the switch on this side. On our way through this wall. Another mini boss. Good evening, welcome in to the 21st and probably the penultimate stream of Betrayal at Krondor. The whole overlay is messed up for Zelda. Yeah, that's just the stream starting stuff. It's being shown in a smaller window, so it doesn't fit. Yeah, I cropped the bottom of the video off to make it fit into the window, so I could fit the time remaining stuff under the video. Hey there, Macho, and hey Jay, welcome in. Hey there, Cyber Games. Thanks for the follow. Welcome in. We're at it again with this game. Stream number 21. It's been 60 plus hours already into this game. We finally reached the final chapter. Took a while. We've been stuck more times in this game than I would like to remember. We've gone in circles, and we've been foiled by traps, and we've been foiled by enemies, but we're close to the end. And according to game lore, we're now in a dungeon below Sethanon, where our task is to protect the Lifestone at any cost, and that probably means multiple enemies lots of fighting rather than traps. I suppose we're also going to deal with being lost in the dungeons. I'm feeling that we have some of that left still. I don't know if we strictly need these staffs anymore, since we're no longer on the planet that doesn't have mana. I have a feeling that we do in fact not need them. We can switch back to the regular weapons. We do have plenty of rations at least. Some potions, although not a lot. We're decently well equipped in terms of weapons and armor. About as good as it gets at least. Before we move any further, I am of mind to prepare you for what we're going to encounter. Located in these chambers is an artifact known as the Lifestone, which we knew. Crafted by the ancient Valharr, it has powers beyond even my comprehension, but we know that it was crafted for the purpose of great destruction. And was this that the false Mormatimus sought to achieve during the Great Uprising? False Mormatimus, what do you mean? He was not truly Moritral, he was a Panthenian. He took on the semblance of a Moritral so he could achieve his goal. The point is irrelevant, what he sought was to activate the Lifestone. If that had happened, the devastation of Timirinea would seem a garden compared to what would be left of Bohemia. An interesting plot twist. If the Valharr are dead, what does it matter if no one knows how to use it? Then it can't be of any danger to us. Not so. The souls of the Valharr are bound to the stone, and it may be that tampering with it may allow them to emerge once more. Perhaps even to inhabit a living body. Even in a symbiotic state, we have no certain way of knowing what destruction they would be capable of. Great. So Makara wanted to destroy everything. He's not mad, but his curiosity may lead to more trouble than he imagined. Hopefully we can find and stop him before he can do anything catastrophic. But why tell us about any of this? I'm a squire from Tyburn and Gorath is a renegade from the Northland. Isn't that dangerous? Your stations are unimportant. I was once a kitchen boy in the court of Crete. I trust you because apparently Macros prefigured your involvement in this and did nothing to warn me before he left Bohemia. For whatever reason, I think he believes it necessary you be involved in these events. And he invariably acts for the greater good, however mysterious his reasons may be. So we're destined to be here. Wait. I accidentally closed the door. That was not what I was going to do. I'm pretty sure this is trouble ahead. Yes, it is. Just forward, we get the element of surprise. And, what are we fighting? I have no idea what we're fighting here. These guys I know, these are soldiers. They probably have slings. I have no idea what the hell these are. They look pretty dangerous. So start with some protective spells, see if that helps. We now have 2 mages in the crew. These are probably dogs. want him to stay away while we can't get him some sort of defensive spell. This is pretty much what I wanted. Now I can cast a third defensive spell here. That will allow us to hack at these guys in peace. Save the more powerful magical spells until we get further into the game. Because they cost us both health and stamina, which we need to restore by eating all of our rations. Don't really know how many resources are actually down here and what we might be able to find. It might be that we'll be very tight on resources down here. At least not waste them before we know. There's a key. Directly unlocks some of the doors in this smart house. This was a 70 plus 5. This was a 55 plus 15. This was a 55 plus 10. Oops. This is just a regular one. In case we run into some better armor, we might pilfer it, but other than that, pretty much set equipment-wise. I don't think our equipment will much improve from this point forward. See if there's something hiding here in the corners. This really does seem to be just a big room full of doors. Yeah. Zoom out the map a little bit here. See the doors. I suppose the key that we found will unlock these doors. Let's just tackle them one by one. Yeah. Almost this key, right? Yeah. Trouble ahead. If ever there was a game to save scumming in, this is basically it. You never know when you're going to end up dead in this game. I think we'll keep with the defensive spells for now. Basically a giant and 4 dogs. See what we can do. Take out the dogs first. They seem to be fairly weak, but they cause a lot of damage. Have Owen run away a bit here. Have Pug run in the opposite direction. Great. We can throw rocks. Go after this dog. one very odd thing in this game is that when you're standing, when you're in hand-to-hand combat, you can't use magic. Magic is basically considered a ranged combat, and you can't use any of the ranged combat skills when you're in hand-to-hand. So you can't shoot an arrow, and you can't cast any spells. The same is true of the enemy, so if they have a powerful mage, you can basically run up to him. That will prevent him from being able to use his spells. It's also in this particular case, when you basically want to cast a protection on all of them, it's rather annoying because you have to either outrun them somehow, so that so you don't have anyone standing next to you, or you have to get the element of surprise so that you get to go first. Let's see if we can take this dog down. Yeah, we can. One of the dragon stones are relatively useful. You can use them to improve your armor a bit, and you also get a little bit of rations, which will come in handy. Doing okay health-wise, though Puck is basically at half health now. We can only fully restore the health in an inn, and we haven't been into an inn in many rounds since chapter 7, so we can only basically recover to about 80%. So 50% is not really 50% of the health that we could be at. We didn't get the element of surprise this time around. This is a mage, so let's go after him. As long as we're standing next to him, he can't cast any spells. The same rules apply for the enemy as they do for us. This bug can cast some spells. Let's have him protect Owen. He's a much weaker character than our good friend is over here. Even though Owen really can't do any damage to this guy, we've basically rendered him largely useless by being able to run after him. If we have no action during the fight, we can also use the restore health. That will restore a few health points per turn. We did in fact lose almost nothing during this fight, since we're basically in a position where we have plenty of restoratives rather than rest Puck heavily. I would rather use the restoratives to bring him closer to full health. rather than have all of them eat 2 days worth of rations to restore him. 3 packs of rations. We do find though our key. Oh, 8 pack of rations over here. The game is being generous to us right now. Did I already check both of them? Yeah, apparently I did. Oh, he does have some fire arrows on him. Might take them with me. I need to waste a little bit of magic casting the light so I can see where I'm going. There's also a chest over here. Probably going to waste a little bit of magic as well, casting the scent of Sarek so we can see whether it's trapped. Which of course it is. It's trapped. Shall we try to deactivate it? That worked out very well for us. We're probably near death. Not quite dead, but took quite a blow. What's in here? Okay, 10 restoratives. Potentially that's actually worth it. How much did we take of damage? All of us took quite a bit of damage. We did find some rations though. What else is in this chest? Some rubies, a herbal pack, and some bowstrings. I'm not entirely sure we actually need. Our bow is at 91%. We don't really need them. I'm going to restore, see if we can get away with doing this without exploding the chest, which potentially might be worth it. No, we can't. How much do we have to spend to heal up? This seems barely worth it. The 10 restoratives that we can find in there is really the only value, plus the ruby, which we might be able to sell at some point, but it will do us no good in this chapter at least. There are no further chapters anywhere else in the game. We'll skip this chest. For now, we at least know it's there. We run out of restoratives and need to go back for some reason. We know it's there. In typical fashion, there's a long and winding corridor of some sort here. Thankfully, when you're in a dungeon of this size, you can zoom the map out almost indefinitely, so you actually get to see the entire map on the screen at once, which is quite helpful. You can't do that on the outside. There you have to rely on the bigger map. has been largely useless to us recently because we've been off the grid. Okay, go in 3 separate directions here, which is trouble. This is potentially bad news. Let's see what we do here. At least Pug can cast a spell. I think it's fairly important to get a defensive spell on Goroth. Then I think it's fairly important to get a defensive spell on Pug before this giant kicks his ass over there. As soon as we start fighting him over here, we can bring Pug out of the line of fire. Spend the rest of the round restoring hit points for the 2 magicians. We hack away at this giant here. Leave him alone. Big brute. The enemy does tend to focus on guys in the party that are lowest on health. It's like it knows. I think Buck actually took the brunt of the damage here, but it's not too bad. Let's see what we find here. We find some rations now. I'm tempted to... Yeah, plenty of rations here. Very tempting to leave a little bit. I think there are actually more rations here that we can carry. Yeah, there are. We can have 3 packs of rations per person that we can basically use now. Sleep for 3 days, more or less. Might not even need all of that. It's probably enough. So carrying our ruby, all things. Yeah, we're absolutely packed with stuff. Really need to carry these staffs around. I think we're safe to leave them, at least one of them. More tempting to some of this stuff here. Three, 2, 2. Give the rest of them to him. Take the gold as well. I'm assuming the dogs have nothing. Fairly sure they don't. I might check them, but It's not actually the dog. It's much the same as the magical parameters the Emirinian gods use. Makala must have learned their nature while he was there. Can you disassemble it? Not directly, we'll have to go to the source of its generation and eliminate the problem there. So if we find Makala, we'll be able to remove it. No, Makala is already within. Investigating the Lifestone as you speak, he will have spellweavers scattered through this location to maintain a shield of this power. I don't think he was absolutely certain that I would have found the cup. But we knew you were going to find it. Well, 2 years ago he was absent from Kenya for a number of months. Shortly after I informed him that I would divulge no more about this chamber and the events at the end of the Great Uprising of the Myrdal, he appeared, dismissed his absence, saying that he'd been traveling. Do you think he ran across the cup himself? Among other things, it's the only way he could have known about its powers and left it for me to discover. It's also probably about the time he decided to make contact with the Myrdal. It's time we found the 6. Delica's magical assistants. Not having seen them, I can't be certain whether they are native or not, but I suspect they aren't Myrdal spellweavers, despite whatever appearance they may be using. Makala has played your ruler for a fool. Delica won't stand to benefit in the slightest from this raid, despite anything Makala might have indicated. Enough speculation. The sooner we find the 6, the sooner we can get this shield down. Okay, we can't go any further in this direction for now. Might go down this corridor here before we go further northwest. It's at that end. So is this. Okay. We've come to the end of this, except that can't go any further here. There is trouble brewing there up ahead. We get the element of surprise, which is quite helpful in this case. Skin of the Dragon on Gorath. Skin of the Dragon on Owen. Take down the dogs first. While Owen has the protection cast on him, I feel perfectly safe just leaving him in the battle. So, need to get Buck out of here as much as we can. Okay. Don't think I will bother casting the protection on Gorath again. I think he will actually make it through unscathed at this point. kastið í kennan Owen og Owen's stealth ability has increased. Where is he at now? He's at 46. Roth has the stealth shoes on him, makes him a 73. Where is Puck? 42. Could really have done with being able to transfer some of the things that we had in the other party over to this one. We had at least another pair of stealth shoes, which would have helped quite a bit. More Dragonstone, more rations as well. We have 11 rations here. Very comfortably rest when we can. So start by giving as much to Owen and Goroth as they can take. Move the rest over to Puck, the only one that has any additional space in his backpack. Key. Up. Turn on the lights. Trouble over there at least. So get rid of trouble first. How far can I get away from these guys? Not very far actually. Appear to be any spot I can go to that isn't directly adjacent to one of them. So that's great. I can run away a little bit more. Just hoping to apparently I'm cornered here. Not the greatest of news, but I suppose it could be worse. I really need to get him out of this. Potentially this is good news. We can at least detect Goroth. And potentially heal up the rest of them. Try to finish this off. That was pretty bad. A ton of damage. There was that spell again. We'll give Puck some of the stamina that Owen has to even things out a little bit. Also mean that we need to rest far less after the battle. Those abilities have increased. What increased? Accuracy, melee accuracy is up to 78%. Pretty equally weak now. Well, Puck is obviously weaker, but he also has more rations. Let's just rest. Rest for a bit here. We even have some rations left behind that we weren't able to use, so we're well off, I would say. At least for now. These are spoiled. Some Dalatail milk. Dalatail milk poison or potion increases the ability to fend during combat. I have a few of those vials add to the pile that we do have. They can come in handy in more difficult battles, particularly for the mages. Usually far less able to defend themselves. Game is being very generous with the food right now. Okay. What's this side over and done with? Let's be very thorough with this so we don't miss something. Not this key. Not this key either. Seemingly this leads either up or down. There's also a chest in this room. You can pretty much bet that it's trapped in some way. It's almost certainty. Where does this lead? Puck searched his memory. His faculty is still clouded by the residual effects of his encounter on Timirinia. He tried to remember the exact sequence of passageways in the ancient Marlar ruins. Seeing the master magician's dazed expression, Owen tucked on his sleeve. Are we going to go down to another level? Not right now, we're not. Finish this one off first before we get ourselves in further trouble. One level at a time. At least we know where it is. It's a word puzzle chest. Its tail is round and hollow. Seems to get chewed a bit. but you'll rarely see this thing unless the other end is lit. Its tail is round and hollow, seems to get chewed a bit, but you rarely see this thing unless the other end is lit. What does that mean? Starts with an O, a P, an S, or a C. Only 4 letters. What could this possibly be? Unsurprisingly, it's not sheer, nor is it sunny. So nothing goes with CH other than the E. Nothing goes with the CL either, except CR. CI. Can't really be a word. Okay, that rules out the C. To the O then. This seems very unlikely. OI something. OH might potentially. Not really. OL perhaps. Not really. Leaves out the O really. It's a pipe. That's a pipe. What's in this chest? I have no idea what this thing does. I've never actually used it in combat. I think it's a combat instrument. Infinity pool. A pervasive feeling of malice radiated from the pendant. In its depths, bloody points of light pulsed, swarming from one side of the glass to the other as anything brushed against its featureless surface. Almost definitely a weapon of some sort. Throw this ration pack here with 1 ration in here. Take this instead. If we have some rope, we'll add to our supply. Full supply of rope. Powder bag here as well. I think we already have a bag of powder. That's basically as much as we can carry of it. We don't really need any more of it. We have an herbal pack we can add to the stock that we already have. If it isn't already full, it is full. Means we don't need it. Really not a lot to be gained here. We might need some more of this before going down later. Let's see. Let's go back here. We didn't check the other side of this here. Walked right into a battle here. Two of these giants. I think I'll protect Owen. Bug seems to be much better equipped to run away than Owen actually is. If I have Owen simply engage the enemy. I can have Bug just slowly restore his health while we deal with these guys. These guys aren't actually so tough, so really take a lot to take them down. Defense is up to 84% for Gorath, quite high. More Russians. Rest before we take the Russians. At least enough Russians for us to not have to use any of our actual supplies. Get by pretty much. What we have, 3 here, 8 here. Combine these two, make some room. I would at least think we could make some room with it. It's Potion Auction, that's also Potion Auction. Is the maximum that you can carry in the bottle is that 8. Is take this instead of the ruby. This is armor protection. This is to confuse an opponent. I've used it before, basically to throw it on the opponent in battle to get him disorientated a bit. Doesn't fully work, but it can get you out of a tricky spot. Get this chest out. We can't pick it and none of our keys work. Not clicking the chest, I'm trying to click this body here. Gameplay can be a little confusing sometimes. There is a body here on the floor, but can't see it. I can't see it, and if I try to click it, well, I can also see the chest. And Okay, I can't access that dead body. I was hoping he would perhaps have the key. Even now, when we can't see the chest at all. I still can't click the dead body that's there though. I can't get behind him either. What a pain in the ass. Assume the key isn't there. Assume that we need to find the key somewhere. We're very close to the exit to the level. It's fairly likely that the key is somewhere else in this level. See what else is hiding here. We didn't go this way, I think. No, we went the other way. Branch. Put that end as well. Cast some more light here. Doing. Okay, we're actually pretty close to where we came in now. This is the big room with lots of doors. So this might actually lead us back to a door to the same room. And this is where being able to bring up this map comes very handy. Tempted to go back here, see if we if that theory holds. If it does, that's probably this key. Yeah. That's a circle, right? Yes. Okay. That's at least good news. We can go this way. Haven't been here before. A different path on the one that we took before. Okay, this is a dead end. Okay. It's fine. Go back to the big room again. Sorry. We haven't done 2 of these doors now. Let's take this one next then. It's basically just adjacent to the one that we already took. Have bug cast the light spell now. Even the burden of using up the magical points. Another dead end. That's a pit. Could barely see the pit on the floor. Game was waiting for us to walk right into the pit. And there's absolutely nothing on the other end here. It's basically just a trap. A way to get us to fall to the pit. We have plenty of rope, so don't really need to worry about that. Which good thing we didn't fall in though. Back here. That's 3 doors done. Three doors done. Done both of the doors over on this side. I think there were no more doors on this side. I think that he went through the only door on this side as well. Leaves doors over on this side, right? Plus the door we came in. Oh, this key doesn't fit this door. Broke the key. Okay, we had a few more. There's no getting through this door at this current moment in time. Perhaps never. Perhaps never, depending on whether we manage to find a key or not. The crew is complaining that we need to take a break. Might as well. Rest a little bit. Is it the same over on this side? No. This door you can open with the regular thieves key. Dead end. Pit. Also a corridor. Oh, there's a door. Don't see any enemies in here at the moment. Probably something in here though. more light. Cast some light on the subject. There's something there on the floor. Can't quite make out what it is. Walk from end to end here to map this. It's a pretty big room. Filled with basically nothing. Except looks to be a pile of rocks. I have no idea what it actually is. It is indeed just a pile of rocks. There is in fact nothing in here. It's a little bit strange. Yeah, there's indeed nothing here. The game would show us now at this point with this spell and there was something in here. Value. There is not. The wild goose chase. Leaves this corridor and then the pit over here. Good idea to do this in the dark, especially not with the pits all around, so we don't fall into nothingness. There's no recovering from walking into the pit, you're just dead. Okay. There's another door over here. Hey there, Graham. Welcome in. Welcome, guys, from Graham's stream. I'm seeing a bit nice stream here on Wednesdays, Fridays, and Saturdays. Usually, Wednesdays are Amiga nights, and Fridays are the DOS nights. We're playing Betrayal and Krondor at the moment, and Saturdays tend to be Sheldon Saturdays, where we play Might and Magic. Welcome in, guys. What were you up to tonight? Over on Graham's channel, the Norwich Amiga group. Probably something fun and probably on the Amiga, right? I'm fine this evening. We're on the final chapter of Betrayal at Krondor, chapter 9 in stream number 21 in this series. Amiga games from 1988. Pretty good year for Amiga games. Developers had at least gotten a sense of how to develop for the platform. So this is yet another door. Is this the door on the other side from the one that we tried earlier? Yes, it is. So we're in a dungeon here beneath the town of Sethanon, and our job right now is to protect the Lifestone, which is some sort of mythical magical object which is apparently able to make things travel in time and resurrect the dead and do all sorts of very evil things. There's a great evil trying to come for the stone. Our mission here is to try to avert that, mostly by fighting them. We have to find them first. In traversing the first floor of this dungeon for a bit, there is at least 2 floors that we are aware of, possibly more. We tried to pick this door from the other side earlier. I don't think you can actually open it, but You can access it from this side, so that basically means that we don't really have to worry about it. Get to the other side of the same door. Leaves us with going back here again. There was a pit here that we could rope ourselves over. Take it back here. Very carefully though, so we don't accidentally miss it. Sorting the map here frequently, very easy to get lost in these maze-like corridors. There's the pit. Have to be careful not to step into the pit. We can swing across. There's absolutely no light here, so the only light we have is magical light. This is another dead end. Pretty much means that we've explored the first floor here. We already found the way down. It's just patiently finishing mapping up the rest of the first floor before going on yet another mission on another floor, thing at a time. Get back here to the door. Find ourselves on this side of the door. Where we were previously, we were on the other end of this door, I believe. Yeah, we were. This is just a circle. It ends in this big room, which contains absolutely nothing. This is where we came in. It's the way up. Yeah, then we've successfully made it through all of this already. Let's cast some more light and then find the exit again. Again. Follow the trail of dead bodies that we left behind here. Party is complaining that they're tired. Don't forget to sleep while you're in here because it's dark all the time. This game has been a lot of fun. It's filled with lore. Most of it was written by a fantasy novelist that wrote a whole book on the magical kingdom of Midkemia and its various enemies and battles. The lore part of the game was consists of a magical world, which quite a bit has been written already. Actual game programming was largely done by Sierra. There is a barrier over there that we can't get past. Some sort of magical barrier. I have a feeling go down to the second floor, find whatever is creating this barrier. So we need to find the entrance again. It's here somewhere. Found it earlier. Might have been here. One good thing about this is that we can actually traverse using the minimap. We can have it up on the screen. While we do so, come in handy many times because the Sutu 3D view that the game offers be a bit unclear at times. It's pretty low resolution. It's here. The way to the second floor was, of course, without another word, Puck led them down the crumbling steps. Are we now? Let's zoom out a bit. Some crackingly good music in this game as well, written for the Roland SC55, which you can see playing on the system cam. Playing this game on a very old, huge Socket 7 tower from around the turn of the century. AMD based system with a K6 300 Super Socket 7 from the Pentium era. I do try to stick to mostly original hardware here. I have an Amiga 4000 tower that I usually play on Wednesdays. I have this retro PC machine. I have another PC tower from 2004 with a Pentium 4 and various bits and pieces. I have this Roland SC55. I have a Roland MT32 synth. We do try to make the experience as authentic as possible. Yeah, I was very lucky to get my mitts on that. My 4000 desktop is broken. Although I do have a new mainboard for it, but the task of transplanting the entire chipset over to a new motherboard is quite some work. And not really something I can do by myself. So I'll keep the board for a bit. It's one of the Amiga boards, and until I can convince my friend somehow to spend the time with me to move all the chips over. This is one of those Morital boxes in the game. It's basically just a word puzzle. You need to figure out the puzzle to be able to open the box. 4 legs in front, 2 behind, its steely armor scratched and dented by rocks and sticks. Still it toils as it helps feed the hungry. Now what the hell could that be? Ideas, chat. We sort of know the makeup of the word because it only has 4 letters, and it would have to start with a C, a P, an S, or a T. I can't imagine what this is supposed to be. Let's start with a C and try to figure out what letter could follow the C. R would definitely work, an L as well. Maybe an H. Probably not the E. It's not a crow. Could be something else. Starting with a C or O. Not crop. This is not crap. Okay. It's not a clap either. Clay, claw, clat. It's not too hard to do when there are only 4 letters, but if there are more than 4 letters, particularly if there are many more than 4 letters, then it becomes incredibly difficult. Especially if you can't figure out the hint, and the hint is always very vague. Sometimes even more confusing than it is helpful. I think that's basically it. Kind of leads out the sea. PEO doesn't make any sense. Neither does PEI. We already tried all of these options. This is basically just trying to brute force this. I have in some cases just given up and searched the solutions for this. There are quite a few of these are just children riddles of some sort, so I don't necessarily know. Pretty much tied to a native English speaker. It's a plow. Which makes sense if you know what it is. Okay, there are 2 things in here that are potentially useful. There are 2 bows, neither of which we actually need. There's a bowstring, which we don't need either, but then there's some anti-venom and some silverthorn, which you can use to poison your own weapons to make them poisonous to the enemy. I would suggest that we're going to be heading into some enemies which have poison blades. Yeah, plow basically, but plow. Don't really have a ton of space in our inventory. Throw some of this away. We'll take the anti-venom for sure. We already have 2. We have a full pack of 12 now, and I'll take this as well. So we can use it to poison our blades. Leave the rest of this behind. Seemingly there are more chests here, at least 1 more of them. Isn't that chest on this side though? Is there something here? Yeah. That's basically the hint, but it's one of those children's riddles that you either find obvious or you don't. I didn't get that bit. It's easy to understand once you figure out what the word is, but until then it doesn't actually seem to be anything other in here except the other chest over there. Let's see if it's also one of them ritual chests. It might be. Yeah, it is. In the fields, a frightful thing. Watch it and you will find. It has a pitchfork in the front and a broom back behind. Oh, this is something very similar. Is this a crow? No. There's a pitchfork in the front and a broom back behind. We're pretty lucky in the combination of letters here because there isn't really a lot of letters that work together here. This is a bull. The bull has a pitchfork in front and a broom back behind. Right. Some restoratives, we already have quite a few of them, but I guess we can fill up on the ones that we have. We have 3 bull vials and one with 18. Few additional pick locks. Already broke 2 of them, so we can store that. Already have a pack of 20. 3 packs of 20 herbals. Definitely don't need any more of those. The armor either. Okay, but some equipment at least. Another door. Same key we found on one of the guards upstairs, and we're headed to trouble here. Click the enemy to... it's one of these things again. Click the enemy to... get the element of surprise. Sometimes you get lucky if you manage to sneak up on them. Roll of the dice. Random number generator. Now, these things I met before once in chapter 8, and they can't be killed by anything other than this single spell, the strength drain. It's the only way to take these guys down. Fairly easy to take down using that spell, but if you don't have that spell, you're basically dead because they will pick you to death. And, I have a feeling that this place is going to be pretty stocked with these guys. I had Owen cast a spell. Now, one of the funny things about this game is that it doesn't actually have any mana points or magical points. It just has health and stamina, and when you cast magic, it will first take the stamina down to 0, and then it will slowly drain the health. So the more magic you cast, the less stamina and health you have, and the more you need to restore after battle. And when you restore after battle, you need to spend your rations. So does take a toll on the mage if you need to cast a lot of magic, so you have to split the responsibilities of doing so between them. And in addition to that, the accuracy of both spellcasting and fighting goes down as you as the health drains away. So late in the battle, you're getting very low on health. The chances of you actually hitting the enemy go down, both in terms of casting spells and fighting in hand-to-hand combat. A 6 says the sign. This is where the 6 protectors are that are casting the enhancement that are keeping us from being able to reach the end of the first floor. So I guess we have to fight all of them in order to be able to deactivate that magic. Puck left. Yeah, sorry, I accidentally closed the door. But is this room filled with dragons of some sort? Probably is, isn't it? That's a poisoner blade to improve our armor. Go into battle. Going to use the very useful Skin of the Dragon spell, which basically casts a magical shield. On Owen and Korath. And the plan then for Puck is to try to have him run away. Or if we get another chance with Owen, I will cast a protection on Owen as well, because I have a feeling we're going to need it on all of them. Now this spell is very effective. Doesn't actually cost a lot to cast it. It's been a major lifesaver in the game. This is fairly easy by having this spell. If you don't have this spell, this fight becomes far more difficult. We were able to basically do this with very minimal damage, nearly no damage at all. Then again, we've fought a lot of battles in this game, some of which have been near impossible. So to some extent we're reaping the rewards for many fights before. We've been able to strengthen our defenses and improve our skills in combat. Also just for finding and buying some of these spells. I've been very diligent in the game and trying to finish every side quest and trying to buy every spell that I've had available to me for some later time use in the game. At least with this Dragon Skin spell, that has turned out to be extremely useful. Let's put that end here. I do try to do this very systematically. Try to finish off every corridor before turning and continuing, so we don't miss something, because going back can be a bit of a pain in the ass. If you haven't been able to find something, it's very difficult to spot it even on the larger map. If you've missed, for example, a single corridor or a door, pretty hard to see it on the map. It seems to be an empty room full of nothing. Irises can be deceiving. I will cast a spell in here called the Eyes of Ishap. Would then reveal to us there's something in this room, which there is not, apparently. Okay. Let's continue down this path then. Hit here. Swing across the pit. One dangerous thing about walking about with the with this layout of the map is that potentially you can miss these little pits here and just walk straight into one and instantly kill you. Well, on page. The candle glow that we want. We go down this corridor, or yeah, let's finish this off before fighting these guys. It's probably just this single chest here. We'll save though, in case it's might be one of these Moritral word puzzle boxes. What is this thing that having it you can no longer give it away, but lacking it for the moment at least you can give it to those who must pay? It's one of those riddles again. That's a very good guess, probably right. Not trust, but could be truth. It's not truth. It's not trust. KD48 Kevran, welcome in. Sorry I missed your stream on Tuesday. I heard it was good on Cypher stream on Thursday. This seemed so obvious. Okay, did you get rated by his maker? Excellent. I was in his stream to start the night, but I had to take care of other things. It's a truck. It's not a truck. It's not a truce either. And it's not Tracy, surprisingly enough. It must be yes. Once you have it, you can't give it away. But if you lack it, you can give it to those who must pay. Credit is too long, that's 6 letters. This is only 5. Well, it's a good guess though. You know, they tried both trust and truth, neither of which we can actually spell. Can't be trail. Doubt. Not a bad guess at all. Could be. We have no B. Can't be a B. But lacking it for the moment, at least, you can give it to those who must pay. This one is actually pretty tough. The plow. Yeah. American game. And largely these are children's riddles. So I'm not familiar with native English-speaking children's riddles. So they've had me stumped multiple times, and multiple times I've just Googled the answers. In case there's something in these boxes that we desperately need to find. That's not usually the case, but it has been the case. It's not a couch. Now, this is probably a play on words, but you can give it to those who must pay. Must pay in what way? Do they owe money, or are you attacking them? I have a feeling it has something to do with you attacking them. They must pay for something they've done. And what could that be? Yeah, I thought of secret almost immediately, but that's obviously 6 letters. Also starts with an S, which is not a letter we have. Is it death? It's death. Yeah. We have both the NAFTA and the static Spain now. We have so many of these various enhancements in the packs at this moment in time. Might bring this over here. Not sure we have enough space to for this. At least we don't really need this at this moment in time. Take it. Put something over here from his pack. This just defensive potion, probably more useful here. Make room in Bora's pack. Pick the NAFTA. Leave the rest. Largely didn't need this. And, you never do know which one of these you actually need and which you don't. At least one of those are only killable by magic things here, and probably Spellweaver. Well, we do need to strength drain this thing. It's the only way to take it down. We'll do that twice at maximum strength. Then send Gorath towards the spellcaster, because we need to be standing next to it so it can't cast any spells. Will of course try to run away as much as it possibly can. This might go on for a while. One thing we could potentially do is use the arrows at this point. Edelbarkabin will come in. And what a puzzle it was. We can take him down like this. We'll just take a few hits. I'm guessing his accuracy with the bow went up. Yeah, 63%. Decently high actually. We took no damage at all. What does this guy have? He has a bunch of gold. Single pack of rations. Strength potion. single vial of strength potion. Take that off his hands. So that's probably one pair. I have a feeling there are 6 of these pairs. There are 6 guardians that are making this barrier on the top floor. There are probably 6 pairs of these guys. And we'll probably have to go through the entire dungeon to find them. I have a feeling there are quite a few puzzles left. Bargain bin. There seems to be quite a few of the Moritral boxes here in this dungeon. This one is rigged for our pleasure. Exploded in such a way that it just instantly killed all of us. It's nice. How nice. How are we, by the way? Not fully healed. Might be worth it to what a lovely chest. Might not be able to open this one. Not even at full health, it seems. No. This one is off limits, at least for now. Yeah, basically. It's pretty close to the truth. I think it's a good idea to rest up, and we'll split the rations a little bit here. Recast the light and see what else is in here. There's another chest here. Another trapped box. See if we can deactivate the trap on this one. This might be the game just playing mind games with us. It's certainly not with. Certainly within the realms of possibility that it is. Both of the magicians have a take at casting the spell. One of them might be a little bit more capable of doing it than the others. Alas, no, these two are out of reach. At least at the moment. Who knows whether it will be the case later on. Nothing here but death. So, walk this room to make it fit on the map. And we have this path leading out of it as well. Haven't explored yet. 2 of these dragons now. It's not impossible to do. We'll use the same trick as we did before. We'll cast the protection spells on those 2. Get up and close and personal with these guys. He isn't actually capable of casting any spells while we're standing right next to him, including breathing fire, so pretty safe way of getting both of them dead, at least when there are only 2 of them. And there is another chest in here. And another way out as well. Only at least 2 ways into this room. As well as this chest. Probably either trapped or word locked or both. Let's take a look at the chest first. We'll save beforehand. That's a puzzle. Our valiant leaders will keep this, but only after they have given it. Seven letters and all we know that it's not Yarmley. Not command, there is no O to be found. Starts with a J, a P, a B, or a C. No, don't have a second R. That's only for Bugs Bunny as well. Although not spelled that way. Valiant leaders will keep this only after they've given it. Promise. Yeah. It's promise. More anti-venom are fully stocked, it seems. Promises, promises. How many did we have here? We have 8. That's a full stock. We have pretty much a full stock of the Napta now, I believe, as well. Additional lockpicks, I think we actually have a full stock of those as well. So not a lot of value in this chest. Just a bunch of items that could potentially have used though. Another door. And another corridor to go down. Indeed. More door. This looks to be one of those spell weavers. Yeah, it is. Koroth took quite some damage, but we can protect him. And we can protect Owen as well. And we can get next to this thing so it can't cast these spells at us. Try to corner this guy as much as we can. Not too strong if we can get close to them. Yeah, down he goes. The ancient and the ruined puzzles. I imagine they had full-on ritual parties with fondue and wine. Yeah, I'm sure they did. Fondue is one of those things that sort of a fashion phenomenon that became very popular here in Iceland for a little bit. Everybody and their grandmother bought a fondue pot and held fondue parties, and then it sort of just in the span of a year or two it just disappeared again. I'm sure there are lots of those in attics everywhere, but very rarely used, if ever. Although it is tasty. Some more poison. Take all the poison we can get. Yeah, it's funny how these fads go about. Everybody has to have one. The current one is the are those air fryers. Everybody and their grandmother has to have an air fryer. I'm sure a lot of those will also find their way into attics around the world. Although there's nothing particularly wrong with them, you can use them perfectly, but I think people will grow bored with them. This is quite the path here. Sort of have a feeling that at some point this is going to go in a circle. I'm sure. at some point. We had a fad here with the bread machines. Everybody for a while had machines for making bread in the morning, and that pretty quickly evaporated. And it was juicers. Everybody had a juicer. The funny bit about the juicers was that yes, you could make your own juice, but yes, it didn't take very long to make the juice, but it took like 3 hours to clean the machine. So after you had made juice for a few mornings and figured out it took the entire morning for you to clean the machine afterwards, that people basically stopped using them. Yeah, all of these things still remain in use with some people, but they were somewhat of a fad, and a lot of people had one that were actually, yeah, cleaning these juices is a nasty business. If you make juice in a restaurant and you do it many times a day, then it's perfectly reasonable to have one of these machines. But if you're making juice for basically one person, it makes absolutely no sense. Now, the trick we used with these guys earlier is that we used the crossbow to get at him, which might work fine if we have the spell in place to protect Gorath. Particularly if we can sneak up on this guy. Ah, yeah, one of these pulverizing juicer things, yeah. I can imagine that's even worse. That would get stuck everywhere. It's best to keep someone next to this guy so can't cast any spells, and then we can just slowly take him down with the arrows. I missed. I hit Owen instead, but he's protected, so it's fine. Time for this guy to die. Yeah, perhaps, yeah. Just rip it apart and... The restaurants also usually just have good dishwashers. They have these Hobart machines and so on that just industrial and only take like 15 minutes to clean. Now, I have a feeling there were only 6 of these battles based on the what we were told earlier about these fights, and we've had 3 of them now, I believe. So probably half. All of these rooms are probably interconnected in some way. Just have to try to do this in a orderly fashion so we don't miss anything. At some point we'll probably reach a point where we've done a full circle. This at least is a dead end. Done with this bit. The point of all of this is of course that we get lost somewhere in this. chest. This one was trapped, unsurprisingly. Let's see if we can untrap it. Yes, we can. More oil, which we can definitely use. Some restoratives, which we can definitely use. More of the fire quarrels, which we've been using against these enemies. We could definitely use that as well. The accuracy potion for the sword players. Do we actually have any of them? I actually don't think we do. Tempted to throw a vial of restoratives here and add these over to the other side. Hey, the Texas Footballer, welcome in. Thanks for the 200 bits. Happy Friday to you as well.
Footballer cheered Dex 200. Hello everyone. Happy Friday.
We'll restock our ropes as well. We're slowly creeping towards the end of this game, Texas Footballer. This is the final chapter in the game, and what is probably the final dungeon in the game as well, although I still don't know how many floors there are in this dungeon. I figured this would be at least 2 streams worth, but going has been pretty good so far. Let's not jinx it though. Haven't really gotten badly stuck yet. Those absolutely endless amount of doors though. Who are these guys? Who are these guys? We haven't fought these guys before. Next is probably an adventure game, and we'll switch out of the role-playing games on Fridays into adventure games, and switch the Amiga streams on Wednesdays from adventure games to role-playing games instead. There are a couple of games that I really want to play, role-playing games I want to play on the Amiga. So we'll probably switch to some of the 90s, mid-90s adventure-like games. I have a CD-ROM emulator on its way. That's basically emulates an ATAPI CD-ROM device with full CD audio. Very interested to see how it actually does. I'll add that to the retro PC. I also have an MT32 from Roland on its way. It's actually here, but I didn't really expect it to arrive quite as quickly as it did, so I could have actually gotten it today. That was not to be the case. He can't cast the Skin of the Dragon on himself, so I guess I'll have him wait just. Decently protected in the meantime. Don't need another turn for Owen. I might cast another bout of Skin of the Dragon on Gorath. He'd be dead if he didn't have a protection spell on him. we'll probably all be dead. Puck finally got hit. We haven't been able to cast a protection on him yet. Actually not doing too badly at the moment. Restore the protection on Korath. It's priority number 1. Cast the protection on Puck. That's priority number 2. Have a go with these guys again. Seems to be the toughest battle that we've had so far. These guys are quite difficult. So we've been relatively lucky so far. We need to cast the protection again. That's what's keeping us alive at the moment. Okay, one of these guys remains. This protection has run out. This is one of those mages, so I have a feeling that once we are able to hit him, we'll go down relatively quickly. So we do have to be able to hit him though. There he goes. That was the toughest one so far. Never have been able to do this without magic at least. Why do we kill the Smurfs? Because they're being very, very naughty. Perhaps they've been taken over by Gargamel. We don't have any space for treasure. Haven't had space to take any treasure for a long time. Really not what this game has been about. Don't need any anti-venom either. Russians are okay. Take many of them as we can carry. Maybe rest already. No. And let's fully rest. Spend the rations that we need to do so. And then take the rest of the rations. Could have taken the torches as well, but they do take up space in the backpack, and we have magical torches, so don't know if we'll bother. Probably not. So no space in the backpacks anyway. A ration. Some more rations. Split these evenly between them. Goes yet another door. But yeah, I'm not quite sure which adventure game would be next, but I'm guessing something in the LucasArts series. Something like Sam & Max or Day of the Tentacle and so on. That we haven't played, and that could be fun to play on the Retro PC. I never expected this game to take 22 turns or whatever it's taken. So it's taken like 70 hours plus. I'm trying to be very diligent in following every corridor to its end and then going back and following every corridor to its end to try to do this as systematically as we possibly can. Ouch. Just walked straight into a battle. What the hell is this? I have no idea what that is. Should at least be protected from whatever that is. I'm going to assume that it's at least poisonous. So can't cast any ranged magic on us at least. Able to hit it. And it's not able to hit us. That's basically all we need. Renew the defensive spell. Already given it 200 and something damage. Not really showing signs of letting up still. Of 300 damage that we did to it before it went down. Whatever the hell it was. That at least was not a smurf. Something, yet another of these chests in this room. Can we see what it actually is? Servitor of Limbs Kragma. It's a Servitor of Limbs Kragma, that's what it is. Doesn't really tell me anything. This seems to be a pretty big room full of doors. Try to tackle this chest first before we proceed with the rest of the doors. Where exactly are we on the map here? We're not far from where we entered the level. Unlocked. We can just take this. Restores our increases accuracy for spellcasting. Really don't have a great deal of use for it at the moment. Our accuracy in casting is actually pretty high. Why can't we combine these two items? There are 4 here. There are only 2 charges in this one. So we'll swap. We'll take this with the 4 charges and leave the other one. Might come in handy later, although we have so many of these items that we really haven't found much use for. There might still be a final battle though, which might be incredibly difficult, and we might need all the help we could possibly get. It's good to be able to at least have every possible combination that we might possibly need. Is this a full circle here? Yeah, it is. Been here before on this side. Back in here. There's another door over on this side then. There's the same key. One state key that unlocks all of these doors. I have a feeling that it doesn't really matter in which order we traverse this. We'll always basically end up in the exact same rooms. These are 3 of these dragons. The important thing here is to 2 things basically: cast a protection, then run right next to them so they can't throw the fire at us. We aren't able to attack if we're standing right next to them. At least not able to attack using the fire that they can basically cast. That does a ton more damage than the hand-to-hand combat moves that I have. This is actually decently easy this way. Another massively sized room. I find it relatively amusing that finally on the last stage of this game I'm getting decently comfortable playing it. Fairly sure that we could go back and play it again. Have a lot less issue doing so now that we've finally learned how to do this properly. Such is life. You live, you learn. Dragons don't seem to have very deep pockets in this game. Nothing really to be gained by killing these guys. I assume they're dragons. Yeah, they're wyverns. Okay, there are 2 paths out of this room. I assume this one leads back to another path that we've already gone down. Or what? Seems to be one of these spellweavers here right in front of us. You missed. Now these guys have decently good armor, but they're relatively weak, so they have a few hit points. Sometimes even a single good blow with a sword is enough to take them down. They do have quite a bit of movement points, so often able to outrun you a little bit. Moving up in the world, although our abilities in a great number of things have reached a stage where we really aren't gaining a lot by increasing the level. This is the strength potion, Fatimir's formula. We have quite a few vials, but we can always use one more. Okay, this is a dead end. That was just this guy. No connection between those two here. There's just the door here on the other side. Could potentially lead us back over there as well. There's a pit over there. Be careful when we go back that we don't accidentally walk right into it. Are all of these guys dead? No, they're not dead. This guy at least is very much not dead. I didn't see him there in the room, so we got the element of surprise on us. Strictly not necessary, but I think he'll be fine. One funny thing about Puck is that he has a lot of movement points, and it's usually not necessary to cast a protection on him, because he can easily outrun. Then the trick sort of becomes to see if we can do damage to these guys without pretty important at least to be standing close to this guy. Sort of dangerous to shoot the arrow here. Yeah, that's the danger. Friendly fire. If we don't stand close to him, he can use his magic, which is worse. So these are the options that we have. Try shooting the arrow again. And now we hit Owen. He's protected, so that's fine. Can't believe we missed. can't believe we missed. Cast the protection on over again and have another go. Throw. Yeah, this time it was a direct hit. Down he goes. I was a little bit clumsy. I got fooled by all of these dead bodies here in the room. Didn't see this guy, he was standing there in the back. I thought it was just a bunch of bodies in the room, but I was wrong. Okay. Spoiled rations. A gem that we don't particularly want. Some rope. Good complement of ropes, it seems. It's okay. Yeah, it is. We'll take this. Cash. And the poison. This door probably leads back to this corridor. At least seems very likely that it does. Yeah, it does. That's a full circle. Go back. Go back this way again. Yeah. Might as well rest and recast the light. Didn't finish path here with the pit. Might not necessarily have to go over this one, but yeah. Figured it might be a dead end, but we have plenty of rope. Isn't really a problem. Okay, that's over and done with. We already explored this and the other side of this as well. We can go back here again. Didn't fully explore this. We haven't gone this way yet. Yet another door. This is a massive place. You can see by the what we've examined here so far. Tons of rooms in this place. At least no problems with the keys. Is there anything in this room? I think in terms of an enemy, it doesn't really seem so. Seems to be exactly like the room that we found on the other end when we got into this second level of the dungeon. At least very similar. Not almost identical. There seem to be anything in here. As I did with that room, I will probably cast a spell to see if there's actually something in here that we just can't see, which is out of the realm of possibility with this game for sure. No, there's nothing in here. Okay. Nothing to see here, moving along. Go back again. examine all of this. Back all the way. Back here. How far back do we really need to go here? Have we largely completed all of this now? This is where the spell comes in handy again. Something here. Something over there. Door over there that we haven't shoot into yet. Yeah, gone down this path yet. Yeah, we left this box behind. Is it trapped, or is it more literal, or is it both? Probably both. We died. Let's see whether we can disarm this chest. And not on first try at least. Possibly we just can't, but let's see. Try with both of the casters. Nope. Oh, that chest is off limits, at least. We aren't able to disarm it. Okay. Now we go back again. Haven't gone this way either. This is a circle. So we can go back again. Now we're largely done with this level at this point. Might not be completely done with it though. Just the one entrance to this room. We've gone in both directions here, seemingly. Bring up this spell again. It is actually highly useful. Sadly, we can't zoom the map out though. It's just a dead end. This is a dead end. We would have done all of this. This is seemingly a dead end as well. We would have gone down this end further had it been possible. Is there a pit over here? No, there's not. stop casting that spell when I want to cast the red spell. Getting close to the start of the level again. Entirely possible that we've simply offed all of these guys here. That we can now go back upstairs where the barrier was in place. We have not gone down this way yet. Still unexplored. Sethanon. Okay. Was right at the start of the level. I do, in fact, not want to buy any followers. Okay. I don't know if that's the last one that we haven't gone down, but it might well be. Now, where did we come in again? To find where we came in, somewhere around here. Whoa. We walked right into that pit. Somewhere very close to here that we came in. Yeah. I know we need to rest. I sort of want to get to that first floor before we do so. But here that we came in. No. Yeah, quit your whining. We'll rest. We haven't gone here. There's one more of these guys. So much for taking care of all of them at least. At least this one remains. Can't quite make it all the way there. I think Goroth is actually frozen in time at the moment. So that spell will expire. 69. Nice. Okay. Doesn't really seem to be very much in this room except this guy and a couple of chests on either side of the room. Might be another way out of it though. Pretty big room. No. This is just a dead end. There's no other way out of this room. Let's see. This is a more literal box. Although lower than a fence and thinner than a rail, it can still be used to hold a horse, hooves, mane and tail. What could this potentially be? Starting with an S, an I, an R, or a T. Lower than a fence, lower than a fence and thinner than a rail. Reins. No. Ideas, chat. It's not stable, that's 6 letters, and there's no L either. So. I can't imagine what this could possibly be. Steak. Don't really need more restoratives, but this is Dragon Plate Armor. 55 with 50% pressing. Actually, pretty good armor. It's better than this is. Also in 100% condition. So now both of them have 55 plus 15. It's definitely high. Definitely pretty high. Repair his armor a little bit here. This is pretty much 100%. And if this was 1% better, it would be nice. Okay. There's another chest over on the other end here. Might also be a Moritral chest. Potentially also trapped. It's a Moritral chest. Though not a plant has leaves. Though not a beast has spine. This is a book. Yeah, it's a book. It's a magical scroll on Fortunate Flux. What a nice name for a spell. Oh, this here, don't need it. Take this scroll instead. Don't need this herbal pack at all. Read this spell. He already has it. That also potentially means that he already has it. Most likely, since we copied every single spell. Yeah. Okay. Didn't need that at all. Does hint that we might need to use this spell. Unfortunate Flux, we'll keep that in mind. This is where we came in. This is the sign that says the 6. Yeah. Potentially means we're done. That means that this is where we came in. Somewhere over here. Right. Yeah. Up we go. Where was it that this barrier was? Where was this barrier again? It was in a room that we haven't fully explored yet. Couldn't make it past the barrier. Zoom out a bit. Actually, it's is this where the door down was? It is. Right. This is where we went down, right? Not there. This is the big room with all of the doors. Here. Potentially it was. Might also have been here. Be here. Yeah, it's here. Is the barrier lifted? Yes, it is. The hallway widened. In a few moments, the path turned, opening into a large chamber where a dragon lay curled on the ground. Oracle of Ar, I called for you, but was unable to reach your mind. The magician wields an amulet which renders his body feeble, and he is in the process of disabling the last of the defenses which ring the Lifestone. Kala is reckless, but I do not think he will have crippled you permanently. He must have unearthed some Valharth artifact, likely a product of Lyron Baktos, the master of dragons. While he would be incapable of ruling your mind, he could still command your dragon's flesh. My inability to know my own future blinded us to the possibility. It's something we will have to attend to later, Gorath. I wish you to stay here and guard the Oracle. Thank you, it pains me that protection is necessary. Pug, you may require my strength when you reach the Surani magician. You will have a difficult time in the Lifestone chamber. No, Garoth, you have already given too much to this quest and seen what should have been seen by no one other than myself. You would never so much as scratch Makala's skin before he burned you to cinders. He will be more respectful in the presence of magicians and less likely to do anything rash. For now, you have a responsibility to guard the Oracle. Puck hurried over Owen under an archway. The corridor angled sharply downward, its rough earthen floor littered with a slippery ceramic material which cracked underfoot with each step taken. In places the boy glimpsed ancient frescoes of a Moritro-looking race who stared back at him with eyes filled with enigmatic hate, the cause of which had been millions of years dead. Along a slow bend they arrived at last at what looked to be a stone wall, but quickly Puck muttered a few words, and the door shimmered away into nothingness. Beyond lay a vast chamber, and Makala was waiting for them. I hoped for more for you, Makala. When you first came to us years ago from the assembly, I sensed your heart full of dark calculation. What I had thought with us you would grow to gentleness. We Surani are of course bereft of that quality. Save your prating for the assembly, you've returned my friendship with cold contempt, treated with my daughter as a wolf to his prey, and have defied my interdict to visit Sethanon. Assume nothing between us now other than the respect due between practitioners. Why has the assembly of magicians seen fit to interpose itself into Makemian affairs? As a whole, the assembly was unable to reach consensus on this matter. They hesitate to dabble in matters that might arouse your ire. Otherwise disposed with a small problem concerning House Akoma, they decided those who felt this investigation necessary could conduct it of their own volition. I undertook that responsibility. I should be careful taking such weight upon your shoulders, it may yet crush you. 10 years ago, you engaged in a battle to bar the Valharf entrance to your world, a battle in which you requested the service of several companies of Surani foot soldiers. As such, the battle became a matter of imperial interest and fell within the jurisdiction of the Assembly. You, however, have thwarted all our efforts to gather information about that battle and have forbade our investigation of Sethanon. Many sons of great houses fell, but their bodies were never recovered for their proper rights. Your attempts at evasion are execrable. Makala never has the Assembly concerned itself with the souls of the dead, and I don't believe they're practicing a newfound piety. You wish to learn how I defeated the Valharf. Indeed, how could we not? The Valharf were a race of unspeakable evil and dread power who once nearly destroyed our world. Although my brothers harbor you the greatest respect, Puck, you would be incapable of turning aside such monstrous powers unaided. Judging by the numerous defenses that ring this abandoned town, we assume the only possible solution. You concealed a thing of power in the caverns here. I cannot fault your fears, but your methodology has been despicable. The Lifestone was created in the darkest days of the Mad God's rage, a war in which the Valharf strove to destroy the gods of Mechemia. With it, they believed they could conquer every corner of the universe, and in all likelihood they could have. It must be internally locked away here, and its existence must die out with that small handful of us that have looked upon it. You will speak to none of the Assembly about what you have found here, or you shall answer to me. I cannot in good conscience keep such a secret. What if such a weapon were wielded against the Empire? Could not such a weapon lay waste to all her children? We cannot simply bury such a weapon. It must be destroyed for the good of all future generations of the Empire and the Kingdom. Impossible. We have no way to know what would happen if we attempted to destroy it. It may not be tested without potentially disturbing the Valharf whose souls now occupy the stone. As I suspected, you have done nothing to study it. Great though your power may be, you haven't an inkling what secrets lie within that stone. Its very existence is obscene. It must have fallen into the hands of a hostile power. Makala, do not tamper with the stone. It must be left untouched for the good of all. I judge now, as is my right, as a great one of the Assembly of Magicians. It must be destroyed, Puck, for the good of the Empire. This speech of his has very much an inkling of won't someone think of the children. I'm fairly sure we need to take this guy down. Will fully restore our health with the restoratives up to a maximum for both members, and we'll take both an accuracy in casting and a defense potion to increase our chances here. They might not I'm not sure we can actually take more. Probably not. Nothing that we do after this point will do much of anything. Now we save and I suppose hope for the best. Now our first choice here is to cast protection on Puck, and Puck can cast the protection on Owen. That will protect us a little bit. then I think we should take a quick look at the spellbook. We do have quite a few combat spells. We do have Unfortunate Flux. Potentially, since that's one of the spells that we found very late, that could actually be... Where was it again? Potentially that's the one we're supposed to use on him. Of course, there are other options here, including Evil Seek. So I guess we aren't in the lane. I guess we can't cast that right now because Owen can't actually see anything. Curious to see what actually happens here. Let's just allow this to complete this way and let's start this battle again. I don't think that Evil Seek will eventually work here, but it might not actually do enough damage for the amount of spell points that we do need to give up to be able to cast it. That mightn't actually do what we needed to do. They got the element of surprise. We're never going to make it in that scenario. Just finish this off, try again, see if we can get the first shot at this. I think that's the only way we survive here. That way we can cast a protection on each other and to keep ourselves protected. We need to figure out a way to do maximum damage, the minimal amount of health taken from us. We are at full strength, basically. Okay. Protection is the first order of business. So we'll cast protection on each other that will protect us from taking hundreds of points of damage every turn, which would otherwise basically kill us. Strength Drain might actually be the only spell that could potentially work for us here. So it will take from them give it back to us. Yes, we will have to spend quite a few spell points to cast a spell. But no, Art Evil Seek. Pretty sure he's immune to it. I don't think the dragons actually are. Let's be smart. We cast a protection at this stage because it's about to run out. Without it, we're basically dead. No way we survive his many spell casts without having full protection cast on us. Not entirely sure Owen sees either of them right now. Let's see. He sees neither of them. What could potentially do though is I could cast Unfortunate Flux on him. Might actually work on him. Yeah, it probably does. It's probably the only way to bring him down. At least my guess. Strength Drain is probably the only way to actually be able to take these guys down. Recast the protection. Is actually taking damage. His protection spell seems to have failed. Have to recast it. It will affect the outcome of the battle for sure. Owen has 7 points now. He's pretty poor. Let's see if we can recover a little bit. Yeah, dragon got in the way. Which is nice. Buck can use the Strength Drain. This is the guy where we've used it on many times before. They might not make it. I think the 4th time we cast the strength drain on this guy hasn't really affected him yet. Being hit with everything they got at this point. This is the maximum we can cast of the strength drain at this point. We still hit, but it wasn't enough. We're out. Strength drain is not the way to take these guys down. At least we're having pretty much 0 success with it. Okay. It's not how we do this. They got to go first this time around, which basically means we're dead. Might as well just put it on auto mode until we drop dead. Not going to be able to take the damage from these guys, that's for sure. Evil Seek probably works on all 3 of these guys. We might try that. So we only have a few times to cast it. It does maximum damage, but it does do so at the disadvantage of costing us quite a few hit points. They got to go first again. Oh, maybe not so bad. Let's see. Cast the skin of the dragon first, and then focus our attacks on. Focus our attacks on. The evil. Let's move Owen a bit here so he has a better line of sight. Let's try the Evil Seek at maximum damage. Start with this guy, as he does a ton of damage. Disadvantage now is that right next to us 2 can play this game. Can play this game for sure. Now He's spending all of his current effort in running around. Okay, one of them is actually down. Owen actually has a ton of health left. Might be tempting to use him for this right now. Don't think Pug can actually do much of anything right now except maybe protect Owen, which we somehow failed to do. Gives us one more try at the Yule Seek. Then we can potentially cast the Skin of Dragon again. We can try get closer to him. Time to use some of these restoratives that we have. Good thing that we had a ton of them. Oh. Accident. Let's cast the protection on Hug. And let's have him heal himself. Basically have multiple vials of restorative, so we can basically just use as much of this as we want. Stopping us from doing so. Evil Seek works fine on this guy, but eventually at this point I might be more interested in Flamecast. Did it do any damage to him? Eventually it did not. This does though. It was over. Pug stared at Macalla's lifeless form as it lay silently on the hard stone floor. Hiding from the grief that threatened to overcome his pain and exhaustion, he turned to Owen. Saw the boy was on his knees. Pug was about to help the boy to his feet when he noticed a strange light filling the chamber. The Lifestone pulsed warmth. Rays of emerald light touched Owen's solemn features, deepening the hollows of his face as he approached the blasted turf occupied moments before by Macalla's towering rage. Nearby, Pug spoke softly, his voice diffusing off the cavern walls into 1,000 bouncing whispers. It may be difficult, Pug said, but don't judge him too harshly, Owen. I have performed acts nearly as monstrous in the name of the common good. I find that hard to believe, Owen replied. You're a good man. So was he in his own way. Loyalty can sometimes misguide even the finest of men. Both magicians flinched in unison as muted sword strikes erupted in the corridors outside the chamber. With startling rapidity, the sounds approached, dissolved into pattering, desperate footfalls and howling, half-screamed oaths. Watch yourself, Pug shouted across the cavern. Someone's coming. Hurried by a shadowy assailant, Goroth backed into the chamber, his sword flying in a defensive arc before him. Repeatedly, razor-like fists flashed out of the darkness to challenge him, but he skillfully turned the attacks to his advantage. Finding the rhythm of his opponent, he feinted right when he was expected to move left and a warrior barreled past him. Delican, Owen exclaimed. Tripped up by Goroth, the Moridra leader crashed to the ground. Snarling all the while in slavering fury. Attempting to rise, he slashed upward with his gauntleted fist, but brutally Goroth stepped inside his guard and delivered a rain of heavy kicks till the older warrior fell quiet. I suggest you lie still, Goroth snapped, wiping rivulets of blood from his face. I may decide to kill you yet. I hear you, Delican crowed, his voice weak. For a long moment he remained curled in a ball, his breath tearing raggedly from his throat as he clenched and unclenched his fists. With extreme effort he turned his head and looked upon the mesmerizing light of the Lifestone and froze. No, Puck shook his head, apprehension welling within him like a black lake as he caught the Moritra's expression. Stumbling forward he tried to interpose himself in the way, but his failing strength abandoned him. No! Swatting Goroth effortlessly aside as he rose, Delican's eyes flashed with reflected radiance. Like a puppet on a string, he began to stagger forward, his steps almost childish in their plodding. Undoubtedly something had control of his mind. Dazed but alive, Goroth leapt to the attack and jolted hard into the Moritra leader, his miscalculated blow carrying the both of them not down but forward into the Lifestone. Together they reached for the sword. What madness is this? Who? Something within the sword consumes, can't fight it. Him, Ashen Sugar. The Valhalla souls trapped within the stone are slipping their bonds. We will have to kill them both. But what about Goroth? Owen says. You must, Owen. Evil can't fight him much. I can't hold him. Now. Owen stared blankly at the Lifestone. We killed him, Owen said, a bitter hurt in his words. He came to the kingdom to warn us, and we killed him. Don't be petulant, Owen. This isn't the time for it. Glaring at Puck with shock, Owen opened his mouth to reply, but found that adequate words failed him. Angered, he turned as if to leave, but felt the master magician's hand on his shoulder. Wait, Puck said, his voice more gentle than it had been. Meeting the boy's hateful gaze, he motioned for him to stay. You must understand, Goroth was dead the minute he touched the sword. If he had hesitated another moment longer, both he and Delican would be dead, and an unspeakable evil would be loose on our world. When Delican began to change, you could see the Valhalla were attempting to mold him into a form they could use. Do you remember the terrible devastation we saw on Timiriana? That would be a paradise compared to the lives we would lead under their dominion. I'm telling you this because now you have knowledge and abilities which come with terrible responsibilities. You will have to make decisions far worse than this someday if you continue down the path you're on. You're going to have to learn to think before you act, but never to regret your decisions, right or wrong. Otherwise you will slowly begin to not make decisions at all. But how can I know which are the right decisions? Owen asked. How can I be sure? Puck squeezed his shoulder. You need to live to a ripe old age to know that, and I'm not nearly old enough to have an answer. All I know is what Macros the Black once told me. He said to train those around me well, to make them powerful, but also make them loving and generous. I see those things in you. Yeah, poor Goroth. I really liked Goroth. I'm sad to see him go. The battle was against them, and raged Warleader Morolf growled orders to his terror-stricken lieutenants as he reviewed their weakening lines from the safety of an elm-shaded hill. Watched with fury as his forward ranks of pikemen retreated under an unexpectedly heavy rain of kingdom longbow fire. In a short while, the combined mass of Prince Arutha's relief forces and the garrison of Sethanon would be in a position to push them into the only quarter of the city where they would be unable to retreat, and then it would be only a matter of hours before they would be forced to surrender or die in a blaze set to flush them out. Warleader Morolf, we must come quickly. Hearing a commotion to his left, he muttered a silent curse on Delican's head for leading them on this fool's errand, then snapped his attention to a small group of Mridral who were advancing towards him, faces flushed with excitement. Their leader, a scar-faced whelp of 20 summers, knelt reverently at his feet before breathlessly delivering his message. At the keep your father has taken Prince Arutha, and I believe the marked one is with him. The tide of the battle turns. Stalking skeptically after his messengers, He progressed through a ruined avenue and into a cobbled central square filled with conversing Morital warriors. Above them, Delican mounted a fire-blackened parapet walk of the keep, preceded by a mysterious robed figure and the Prince of Krondor, the later bound hand and foot, unable to do anything but follow where he was led. Reverent silence fell over the square as the robe-clad figure stepped past Arutha and Delican into the archer's turret, a hand placed over his right breast. Ripping open his white garment, he revealed a body made gaunt with hunger, but bearing an unmistakable curling purple birthmark, which resembled a dragon and was the mark of legend. Instantly a chant rose among the Morital warriors, many of them falling to their knees in ecstatic reverence. "I have returned, O my children," Mormantimus shouted from the battlements, revealing a glittering sword of gold, its hilt set with stones of lapis. Hidden deep in the chambers of earth below our feet, Prince Arutha sought to keep this sword from me, from us, to the key to our future. For 10 years, he imprisoned me in the bowels of this hell against my will. But you have freed me, he said, sweeping the air with the sword. 10 years ago I promised you the dawning of a new age. I was repaid with abandonment. But today I am free because you who followed Delican believed in our dream. You have demonstrated your worthiness and loyalty, and as a reward you shall all bear witness to the death of the Lord of the West and the final fulfillment of the prophecy. A dark cheer rippled through the crowd as Mormantimus held the sword aloft and faced Arutha, his lips curled back in a wicked smile as he advanced on the dazed prince. Considering the things that had been done to him, the crowd thought it likely the former leader would execute Arutha slowly, and they were ripe for the spectacle. Abruptly, Mormantimus halted. Beneath him, the stones of the keep began to tremble, as if the entirety of the structure were being shaken by an invisible hand. His look of proud defiance suddenly turned to outrage. "What treachery is this?" Mormantimus screamed. "Who meddles with the prophecy?" As if in answer, thunder pealed overhead, announcing the arrival of a great dragon and rider, the pair seemingly having formed from the very air itself. Floating down from dizzying heights, they descended to a point level with the keep's rooftops, the dragon's wings beating great gales of wind against the crowd. "The prophecy is false, Mormantimus, as are you," Puck shouted from the dragon's back. "You have betrayed the folk of the kingdom and those of your own people for a lie. It is time for your terror to come to an end." At Puck's command, Arutha ducked, narrowly averting death as the dragon skimmed low overhead, lashing the bottomless with its titanic whip-like tail, hurling both Mormantimus and Delican, screaming like babes, into the horrified hordes who watched far below. Fanning away from the impact of the two, bystanders hastened to escape, fearing a possible second attack from the flying dragon and its equally menacing rider. Standing in the midst of the crowd, Morulf looked on, void of pain or fear, his voice calm and clear as he addressed the goblin lieutenant who stood near him. "Gather your kin and call the retreat," roared Morulf. "We may still win. Lead us." Collaring the green-skinned creature, Morulf lifted him off his feet. "I now lead the nations of the north, and my first command is that I shall lead us home." "Call the retreat," Morulf spat, hurling the goblin backwards. "The day is theirs, but I must see to something first." Disregarding the panicked warriors who sought egress from the square, Morulf picked his way over the burning rubble to where his father lay dead, his wolfish eyes reflecting only the clouds of smoke which drifted through Sethanon. For all his father's grand schemes, for all the things he had thought to accomplish, he was nothing now, nothing but a hulk of dead flesh. He had been a fool to trust the Surani magician. Leaning over the dead body, Morulf snatched up the golden sword, which Mormantimus had retrieved from the caverns below. Although he knew very little of the prophecy which had inspired both his father and Mormantimus to their deaths, he had no intention of wasting what little they had gained in the battle. Perhaps when he returned to the Northlands he could still find a way to harness the power of the artifact, assuming it had any powers at all. Morulf, turning the Morital warrior, had no time to react before the lightning-quick assassin was upon him, driving a knife skillfully through his left eye and deep into his brain, killing him instantly. Without a sound, he crumpled to the ground across his dead father, dropping the sword even before he could raise it. Smiling coldly, Narab withdrew his knife and wiped clean the grey flesh from its bone blade, and snatched Mormantimus' prized sword from where it lay abandoned on the ground. One by one, he had borne witness to the destruction of his rivals, Gorath of Ardinian, his own brother Nago, Delican and his son Morulf, all destroyed by their own greed or inaction. Now there would be the matter of dealing with the bitch Lilian, who had been Delican's mate, and then he might even claim the throne of Sarsagoth for himself, assuming no bastard god of the former world leader claimed the right. It would be of small consequence, however, for now he possessed what I had all sought. Assuming he lived, he would learn to exploit his newfound advantage. Sheathing his knife in his boot, he spotted a slow-moving band of Morito limping towards the dim wood, and he hurried to join them, blending in with the crowd in the same manner in which he had come to Sethanon, as an unrecognizable face in a mob of the beaten and the angry. Arutha watched with mild wonder as Pug conjured the prince's duplicate into non-existent, and just as quickly eliminated the remarkably lifelike illusion of Delican and Mormentimus, who lay crumpled on the ground below the keep. The corpse of Delican's son would have to be removed later by less arcane means. A shame we didn't have you with us at Armengar, cousin Pug, Arutha said. A performance such as that before Mormentimus's troop might have won us the battle. Pug shook his head. Spectacle won't win your battles, but at least it may prevent the Dark Brothers from plotting another attack against Sethanon. With a dozen or more Morito witnesses you've left alive on the battlefield, most of them should return alive to the Northlands. Having seen their leaders die and possessing the object Mormentimus sought, they will have little reason to return here. Let us hope, Arutha said. I have little desire to do this again. What about the artifact? Owen asked. A useless sword, Puck replied with a grin. The Oracle of Al indicated a hidden room where I might find it when I asked for assistance with the plan. Shortly after the Morito gentleman who picked it up returns to Sarsagoth, he will discover it useless and curse the names of both of them for having spilled so much Morito blood on false prophecies. Seeing James and Locklear poking about in the ruins near the keep, Arutha scowled. I have a feeling those two are going to keep me busy for months with their questions about this place. Fortunately for a lawyer, if I tell them the subject is closed, they'll both trust me enough to leave the issue alone. You can always tell him that the sword was truly what was buried here, Owen suggested. The answer is good enough for Morito. Arutha shook his head. Locklear will probably forget the matter once he sees a pretty young face in Krondor, but Jimmy is different. He won't accept it, though he will never ask anything more. I don't like that I will have to lie to him. He is as loyal a subject as I've ever had. What about the Surani? Owen asked, nodding. Arutha seemed equally concerned with Pug's answer. I shall have to talk with him. A well-respected member of the Assembly of Magicians named Oko Peppa already knows something of the event, and he will help me assuage their fears, Pug said. Thankfully, they have their hands tied with another bothersome individual at the moment. Satisfied, Arutha said his farewells and moved off to be of assistance in evacuating the remaining soldiers from the area, fearing that some might become too curious and discover things best left unfound. While watching the prince depart, Pug smiled quietly to himself, gaining Owen's attention. You seem pleased about something, Owen said. What is it? You will note that the prince said nothing about your silence, Pug said. You know the secret of Sethanon, and all of Mechemia only Prince Arutha, King Liam, Duke Markin, Thomas of Almendar and myself truly know what lies beneath our feet. As if to reinforce the point, Pug tapped his staff at Owen's feet. What are you saying? Smiling, Pug began to lead him down the winding path towards the city's smashed southern gate. What that means is that the prince expects me to guarantee your silence. That will be difficult to do with you in Taipan and me at the Academy of Magicians at Stardock. It will require that I make a number of long and tiresome journeys for the sole purpose of ensuring you keep your silence. It seems a waste of time. Stopping to look into the sunset, Puck seemed lost in thought. Of course it is possible I could take you on as a student of magic. Your living expenses paid in full by Prince Arutha. Are you interested in becoming a true magician, Owen? Laughing for the first time in a great while, Owen twirled his staff in his hands. I've never wanted anything else. And there endeth Betrayal at Krondor. "75 hours or so after we started it, we finally gotten to the end. I wasn't really expecting to be able to finish chapter 9 in one sitting, but there we go. I must have... Thanks for the 200 bits, Texas Footballer.
Texas foosball cheered it's 200.
I must have finally learned to actually play this game. We had our struggles with this game, and we had to look up the map online at one point in Chapter 7, but mostly we made it through without anything except help with the Morithral chests on occasion. So yeah, I'm pretty happy that we finally finished this game. And I'll gather some adventure games for the PC on a wheel, and we'll spin the game wheel next Friday. On Wednesday I might try to finish off Cruise of the Corpse for the Amiga, which will then be the final adventure games we play on the Amiga. It was also the last adventure game on the adventure game wheel for the Amiga. And then we'll turn our attention to more of a role-playing nature on the Amiga side. Let's see, we could potentially raid here. Who's on? Xena is playing Champions of Kryn on DOS. That seems pretty much right up her alley. Go through him a raid. He tends to be one of the few people that are on at this time of night. So I'll set up the raid. Thanks for coming here, guys, and thanks for the bits and follows. We'll see you here tomorrow night on for more Might and Magic action. Crackingly good game, Might and Magic 6. So looking forward to that stream. See you then. If not then, probably Wednesday. You enjoy the rest of your night. Sleep well. I'll see you later.